Okay, in this video we're looking at substituting values. This relates to generating a table of values, including negatives, and using algebraic conventions to do so. So we're looking at substitution, that skill, if to be successful, and then calculating a value as a result of the substitution, and then completing a table. This includes negative values. So a table of values help us determine the relationship between two variables. As we said before, there's an independent and a dependent variable. Most of the time, or always, the convention states that we put our x here and our y here. And we can use that to, if we get given a rule, like say something that we had from the last video, y equals 3x plus 1, we can use that rule to construct this table of values like we had in the other lesson. So here we go. Be careful of negative numbers. So we're going to start off with some positives first. So here's my rule. Subtract 3 from each input number. So it's just going to be input number minus 3 equals output number. So 4 minus 3, 1. 10 minus 3, 7. 38 minus 3, 35. 144, 141. Straightforward. Divide each input number by 2. So input number divided by 2 equals our output number. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the number that's been given to me, putting it into this rule in the place of I, because that's what input is, and calculating what O would be, or output would be. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Almost at 20. And then we have our 38 divided by 2 is going to give us our 19. I have to think about that one. And I have to think about this one as well. 22, 50, so that'd be 72. Okay, so 144 divided by 2 is 72. Okay, so there we have it. That is, so far, substituting a value using the input rule or the rule to find the output number. So what you're going to do is the same thing here. So follow the instructions, copy these tables and complete them. So subtracting 4 from each number, so you get 4 minus 4 and so forth. So substitution. Alright, so there's those ones there. Pause that. Okay, there's question 4. Pause there. Alright, next one. So here we go. We eventually can also go from not having a table and an instruction to just having an equation, and that's what we're going to be looking at, is substituting our values into our equation. So here is, if y equals this rule here, substitute the x value given y to give y in each case. So we're calculating y. So here's, I'm going to give myself some space here. I'm going to go A and then B and C. That should give me more than enough. All right, go and do them each one. So in this case here, we write our FSA. So y equals fx minus 4. Get them all in if you want. The next thing I'm going to do is a substitute line. So y equals, in this case, it's positive 2. So 5 times 2, because that's what's happening here. There's invisible maths. Minus 4. Now calculate using BOMDAS or orders of operation. So 5 times 2 is 10, minus 4 is 6. Over here, y equals 5. So substitution times, we're substituting in 6 minus 4. Orders of operation, 5 times 6 is 30, minus 4 is 26. Same thing again. The substitute line, 5 times negative 3 minus 4. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. If you are multiplying positive times a positive, your answer is going to be positive. You multiply a positive times a negative number, your answer will be negative. Sorry, that's just shorthand. And if you have two negatives, become a positive answer. The shortened curlies is if you have an odd number of negatives, negatives, the answer will always be negative. And if you have an even number of negatives, the answer is going to be positive. So what I mean by that is it 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0 or 10. And this one here is for 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. So 5 times negative 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Put a net because it's one negative. It becomes negative 15 minus 4. Now y minus 4 gives us negative 19 because we're going back away from, we're going in this direction. Yep, hopefully that's right. This direction, as in right on the screen, not right for me. It's, here we go. I'll draw a number line. If we're subtracting, here's 0. Here are your negative numbers, so say like negative 20 and positive 20. If we're subtracting, we're going in this direction. And if we're adding, we go in this direction. So that's what you need to remember. So that's why it's negative 15 minus, so that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, which would lead us to negative 19. If in doubt, use your calculator. Okay, so substitute these values into the equation. Here is your equation. Here are some values, and then you've got a negative value, so be mindful of that. Okay, that is substitution. Substituting values into tables. All right, awesome.